Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So, breaking news. I don't know how important this news really is for the Eagles, but it looks like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson just got released by the Texans not even like 5 minutes ago. I don't even know if this really pertains to the Eagles so much. But he's released. Now, the news that came out was from Aaron Wilson saying that Texans released Chauncey Gardner-Johnson after friction behind the scenes with him complaining about his role, wanting to blitz more per league sources, and even communicating that he wanted to be traded. Didn't work out from here. MJ Stewart, next man up, expected. Okay. I can't tell if Chauncey's really been the problem than more about the coaching staffs of some of these teams that he's been on. He's been on a few teams already, man, the past few years. It seems like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson just can't play anywhere else. Maybe he can't play in Philadelphia, but every time he's in Philadelphia, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And I still don't get why the Eagles even released him from the start of everything. This is going to tell us if they want him back. I mean, look, realistically, you don't even need Chauncey to play safety. You know what I mean? If the Eagles decide to bring him back, like now, there's apparently rumors this week for Tampa Bay that we're not going to have Adoree Jackson. We're not going to have Jacorian Bennett for this game on Sunday, which is really bad. So Keely Ringo might start this week. So I don't know where this is going here. So God forbid, like if you sign him and then in a couple weeks, Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett are back, and now you have DeJean now. Adding Chauncey to the mix is going to make it even better because Chauncey could play inside and he could play outside. Chauncey could play inside and he could play safety. So this is an upgrade over Sidney Brown. I don't know why Sidney Brown played. Sidney Brown played a lot in this last game. Especially in basic, he played a lot. So I really don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand like the whole domino effect of our offseason program, of the offseason really since free agency this past offseason. It was just a move that made no sense to me. With 2 more years left on his contract, I could see the Eagles getting rid of Chauncey after this year. But to cut him and then your safety position became one of the biggest needs. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't understand this whole thing. So, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat, by the way. Everybody's probably as confused as I am at this point. I'm on X right now, seeing if there's any more news on this situation. It's clear that the Eagles want to move in a different direction at safety. Why? I don't know. What's going on, Loyal? What's going on, buddy? Why did the Texans make this move, Loyal? What's going on, buddy? Why did the Texans make this move? I mean, is Chauncey the big fucking problem here? I mean, we see the thing is like Chauncey left the Eagles and we never really heard much anything. We never really heard anything about him like having issues with the coaches or fighting with the coaches or that it was a cap situation. That him leaving was a caps. I don't know. I'm still very confused over it since the move happened. Yeah, I mean nickel corner. Yeah, I mean a nickel. Trading CJ and Rodgers were crazy. Yeah, I know, dude. Like Isaiah Rodgers had 2 fucking touchdowns last week. He had I think the first time in PFF history, a perfect PFF graded score of 99.9 last week. On like a fumble recovery touchdown, I think a pick 6 Isaiah Rodgers. You got no comp pick for Rodgers. You know what I mean? So I don't get why they just I don't get why they didn't even try. They never even tried to get him back. And that was a big problem. That was a big issue. Lord says CJ must be the most toxic locker room player in history. I mean, I don't even know, dude. Like, is he outspeaking himself? Like, going up to the coaching staff, like, I don't like how I'm used. I think we should blitz more, but we're not doing. You know what I mean? Is he becoming like, like, look, like every player can't do that every single game. Can't just be like, I understand, like, you're 0-3 now. So I guess if you're going to be vocal in that situation where your team is now 0-3, I completely get it. If they were like, sort of like, if they were, sort of like, if they won a couple games, then I can understand, that maybe he's going off the rails a little bit too much. But I'm guessing at 0-3 now, he was just really frustrated. And he really didn't have a good game against the Buccaneers last week. He whiffed on some tackles last week. So he must have been a big pain in the fucking ass, and the Texans couldn't even deal with him. The Texans couldn't even deal with him, period. So I don't know if he's a cancer, if he's that toxic, or I don't know. Because we don't even know why he left the Eagles, to be honest with you. But I've always liked Chauncey because he was just straight up a dog in Philadelphia, because he just, in my opinion, Chauncey was all of us in a lot of ways, But he is just, I don't know. From some of these teams can't handle his personality. And that's just the truth, Don't really care to have CJ back to get Newsome or Ward. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles haven't made that trade yet. You know what I mean? The Eagles haven't made a trade for a corner. Like, the rumor is right now, I mean, I haven't looked at too much news today. I know Fangio had his press conference. I know Patul had his press conference today. Fangio, I think, is leaning on I think we're down 2 corners this week. I think we're down Adoree Jackson, and we're down, apparently, I don't even know how Ja'Cory Bennett got fucking hurt. I don't even know how he got hurt. I have no clue how he got hurt. Paxton just doesn't have a filler. He needs a PR team with him 24/7. But I would enjoy it if he made a return. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if he returned either because he's an upgrade. He's an upgrade somewhere. He's an upgrade somewhere. You know what I mean? He was the guy that was like, oh, without me, every time I came back, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl the last 2 times. And it's true. I know the Eagles can win without him, but the problem I'm having is that they released him. They made safety the biggest need in the draft besides our first rounder, Jahad Campbell. They made him the biggest. They made that position the biggest need. And then you didn't even touch cornerback or didn't try to trade for a mid-tier corner or did nothing. You let Rodgers walk scot-free. You let Slay walk scot-free. And you're still 3-0 right now. I just don't know. You're hoping that this pass rush is going to get better. The defense has been lights out in the second half of every fucking game so far the last 3 weeks. But I just feel like they're still missing something. I just feel like CB2 is still a mess. And I just don't like Sidney Brown at all. He's missing open field tackles. And I understand CJ did that last week. CJ just plays better in the scheme with Fangio. He just plays better. And certain players are just going to play better in certain situations. No, CJ was back. No, I don't. No, CJ had another injury. It wasn't. He had a lower body injury. It was an injury scare in the offseason program, but he literally missed a few weeks in camp and he came back the first game. So Jones says no one has played nickel except Cooper. Vic pretty much made it clear. Why keep wishing for that? It's stupid. No, I mean, I don't want Cooper to move out of that middle spot. I really don't. Because I feel like he could do so much on the flat. Not covering from the inside, but going back in coverage now. Because this week, you might play with Keely Ringo at CB2, and you might put Mac McWilliams in that inside spot. And I'm not really a big fan of that at all. So you're going through this little mini gauntlet, which I thought we were going to have some trouble. And if they were going to come out at least 3-1 out of the next, between KC, the Rams, obviously facing Tampa this week, I figured that they would have a little bit of a problem. But I think they've done a pretty good job. He says, please bring back home Philly, please. Because I think once the offense is actually able to complement the offense actually complement the offense when the defense will be at its full best, including pass rush. Yeah, the problem is that I still don't trust CB2. And I don't know if the Eagles are going to make a move there. But if Chauncey ever came back, I mean, where are you going to put him? If they're not moving DeJean from the inside, and they just drafted Makuba, so why are you going to throw Chauncey in front of Makuba? It's already that Sidney Brown is playing in basic. Whether Makuba's only playing in dime, I don't even know how many snaps Makuba had that last fucking game. I don't even know. I'm trying to find more news on this situation. So I don't think the Eagles can resign. From some of the news coming out, I don't even think that CJ can be re-signed. So it says, seems like the Eagles can't actually re-sign Chauncey since he did not play a minimum of 4 games with the Texans. Okay, it says reacquisition. So this is an NFL rule. Reacquisition of a traded player. A player who has been traded cannot return to the club that took such action until 2 seasons have elapsed, including the season of the year in which he left the club, unless one of the following exceptions applies. It says a traded player must have been on the inactive list of the assigned club. Any club beyond the assigned club or combination thereof for a minimum of 4 regular season or postseason games after which the original assigner club may reacquire the player by waiver assignment or free agent signing. The 4-game requirement specified herein may span 2 regular seasons if applicable. I don't even know what the fuck that even means. So he's actually, he's a free agent now. So he's a free agent. It's the thing is you can't trade a player and then trade back for the player. You understand? So he's a free agent now. So we should be fine, right? I mean, they should be able to sign him back since he's a free agent now. If he was on the Texans and he said, "Hey, I want to get traded," and he was still on the Texans roster, then the Eagles couldn't acquire him. So I think that's what it means. I think that's what it means. All right, so I'll read it again. I'll read it again. It says reacquisition of traded player. It says a player who has been traded cannot return to the club that took such action until 2 seasons have elapsed, including the season of the year in which he left the club, unless one of the following exceptions applies. It says a traded player must have been on the active inactive list of the assignee club. Any club beyond the assignee club or combination thereof for a minimum of 4 regular season or postseason games, after which the original assigner club may reacquire the player by waiver assignment or free agent signing. The 4-game requirement specified may span 2 regular seasons if applicable, or it's not, and it cuts off right there. I don't know what else it says. So I think it means that he could come back, from what it sounds like. If he was still on the Texans roster, the Eagles couldn't trade for him unless he was there for another season after this year. So I don't know if it means that he can't come back because he needs to play one more game. I mean, he's a free agent now, so he can't come back to the Eagles just because he didn't play a 4th game, or now that's null and void, and because he's a free agent, regardless, he could still come back. So that's kind of confusing. It's still a little confusing. Eagles can't actually resign since he did not play a minimum of 4 games with Texans. I don't know. Slick says CJ was drafted as a cornerback from college. Bring him in as a corner. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I don't even know if the Eagles have interest in this at all. You know what I mean? I don't know why this broke down the way it did this past offseason. I mean, Chauncey is going from team to team to team to team. So what is that telling us right now? The only issues I've had with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is some of his off-field shit that's going on. You know, him in social media, you know, it's just he talks a little too much on the outside of football. And then, like, there was a few things I don't think the Eagles did like when he got kicked out of that fucking Washington Commander game last year for no reason, which we all thought that was bullshit. Okay, he got kicked out of that game last year, and he went to the locker room and went on Instagram Live. Like, you can't do that shit. I don't think Lurie appreciated that shit. I don't think they liked him at all. So, if there is an upgrade here within our defense, I just don't think Sidney Brown is it for this defense. I think Sidney Brown should be a full-time special teamer. And that's just me. From what he's shown so far in the regular season, I understand we're on week 3, and we could talk about every player and be like, well, it's only week 3. I just think it's a massive upgrade right now. You know what I mean? So he can't. From what I understood, that means he can't. From what I'm reading it, from how I'm reading it right now, it sounds like he can come back. You know? Lawsuit coming with the super chat says reports Cowboys will be interested. Yeah, but for what, dude? For what? He's just gonna waste it. I think Chauncey is smarter than that, but he needs a job. If all else fails and he can't come back to the Eagles, then what? Do the Eagles literally have no interest in bringing him back? Because I'm telling you right now, like, they may have said, "Oh, this is the right move," and then now they're looking at their defense. I'm not saying Fangio's like he's panicking over certain positions, but he knows that he's an upgrade over probably a couple guys on this roster. Okay, he's probably an upgrade over Makuba right now, but Makuba needs to play more games. But I don't know why you're not playing Makuba the entire game. If Sidney Brown is playing basic, Makuba's playing dime. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't know why Sidney Brown had as many snaps as he did in whatever defense that they were calling the entire game. The 4-game requirement is only if the Texans trade him back to us. Since he's released, he's free to sign with anyone. That's how I'm reading it, Joey. That's how I'm reading it. If he was on the Texans roster, requested a trade, he wouldn't be able to come to his original team that traded him to the Texans until he plays that 4th game with the Texans, which makes him available for trade only to the Eagles at that point. But since he's technically a free agent now, none of that shit matters. Now he can sign with the Eagles whenever he wants to. All right, I'll call Howie right now. You want to stick it to the Eagles? It's weird because when Chauncey got traded, he said on an interview that there was nothing wrong, and then he went on that other podcast and said that about that he wasn't just a cap casualty. They didn't like the certain things that he did towards the rookies, and had this altercation in the weight room, or there was like some weird shit going on. Like, we don't even know the whole story. I think it was one of the more surprising moves we had. A position you didn't have to make a complete need this past offseason, which they did. Terrell says he shores up our defense as much as you'll say we don't need him. I'm not saying we don't need. I think safety is like Makuba. I think he's growing, he's building himself, and he really showed up. Not this game because I don't even know if he even played because I barely even saw him on the field. But I thought week 2 he really he flashed. I mean he's just playing better. The guy just needs more reps. Flick says, I think Vic sees Sidney as a better run stopper at safety than Makuba, and Makuba has better coverage. But Sidney Brown is not even good in open tackling, man. Sidney Brown is not good in open tackles. And his coverage is lackluster. We all know that. I don't think maybe he gets better as the season goes on, but I'm still not a fan. I'm still not a fan of him playing safety at all. I'm still not a fan. You have Chauncey in the building, it's a major upgrade. King says all CJ did was tell Job to put the weights up when he's done, and dude went to cry to Slay over it like stuff. Yeah, that was the news that came out. I didn't know it was Josh Job at the time. I didn't even know that. I forgot what corner he was talking about. Yeah, some weight room incident. But you're telling me that's and when was Job was here? How many years ago? What was this, back in 22? This happened? I mean, there's no way that old news like that would resurface, and that's the main reason why. There's got to be more to this story of why. I can't believe that he left because it was a cap situation. I still don't fucking believe that at all. You know what I mean? No, he did. I'm not saying in the beginning he didn't. I'm saying as soon as the trade went down, he was in this room with this other guy, and he pretty much said, he said there was no bad blood with Howie. That we kind of worked together on where to go in a good spot that would be good for me to compete for a championship, and that's the first thing that happened, and then kind of fell off from there. So I'm not saying he didn't run his mouth afterwards. Like he definitely did. He definitely did, but. Trying to find more news on this thing. See. Yeah, he wasn't even waived. Yeah, and the Eagles haven't. I mean, look, look. The Eagles just want to. They were forced. The Eagles trade him to the Texans. They got Kenyon Green in the trade. I think they just wanted to try to get a player from there, regardless. So did the Eagles win this trade? I mean, I guess, but I don't really think they did. Because we don't really know what Makuba's going to do the rest of the year. All right, let's see. We got more news here. Among the issues Texans experienced behind the scenes with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, per sources, he was critical of teammates in the secondary. It didn't like his role. It was a locker room. Is this the same thing I've been? It was a locker room issue, and ultimately, this is just wasn't a good fit for the team and for the talented player. That's not good. That's not good. Blake says Sydney is like a heat-seeking missile with no tracking coordinates. Yeah, pretty much. He doesn't go on waivers. He's played more than four years. No, they're talking about 4 games. They're talking about 4 games. Unless you're just talking about he can't go off waivers because he hasn't. I mean, I don't think that's true. Sidney Brown can't tackle. He's a beast on special teams. Well, no, on special teams he's fine. On at playing safety, you can't play safety the same way you play special teams. Yeah, you can't. It's 2 different things. Apparently, we can get him back. Apparently, we can. Spink says plot twist. What if this was all a part of how he's planned? Yeah, I don't think so, dude. I don't think it's part of a plan to let go of a player and then make it the biggest need besides Jahad Campbell, making him the second biggest need in the draft. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Pig says he tried using the bowl to make himself a leader in that room. He's doing too much over there, but if he came back, it'd be cool for our players to not to go. And I don't think the players have an issue with Chauncey. I understand, like, if you have a guy with a big character, a big personality like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I think the players can handle him. And I think some of the players kept him in line. I understand that Chauncey threw shots like Reed Blankenship. Slay said Reed Blankenship is a leader over me. He made a big deal over, Chauncey not being exempt as a leader for this defense. And obviously they love Reed Blankenship as a leader, which I think he'll have a nice extension after this year. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Eagles would put Chauncey at CB2. That's a question as well. Since he hasn't really played the position in a while, I'm not sure. Married to Designer says, I feel like CJ wanted to get cut, come back. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm trying to find out more news right now. Let's see. The Texans couldn't. Jeff Kerr said the Texans couldn't handle C.J. Gardner-Johnson for a month in the regular season. Again, Eagles culture is like no other. Really is, man. The Eagles could see that no other teams could handle that. Every time CJ goes to another team, he doesn't last. He went to the Lions for what year? Okay. He went to the Lions for a year. He ended up getting hurt. He missed a lot of the season. He came back for the playoffs. And, you know, the Eagles were supposed to sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back in 23. They were supposed to re-sign him back. And for some reason, Chauncey's agent handled that contract horribly. And it just didn't go well. It just didn't go well. And the Eagles ended up signing James Bradberry to a contract extension. If they signed CJ, they wouldn't have had Chauncey. They wouldn't have James Bradberry. They wouldn't have re-signed James Bradberry to a long-term deal. Thinks that he just needed to be humbled, and hopefully this did it. This is going to be big, dude. Wherever he signs, this is going to be big for a team. And you know what? If the Texans couldn't handle his personality and his play was kind of sinking, because maybe Chauncey was embarrassed of his play, and maybe he just felt like he just wasn't playing at high stakes. And Texans are not a good football team right now. They're a young team right now. I'm not a fan of the quarterback, and their defense was getting cooked, unfortunately. So CJ and Box Knob said, let's be honest, CJ is Philly through and through. He has the Philly swag. It is true. But there's a chance now. So this is what the news says about the situation. If everybody is new joining the chat, it says Texans released Chauncey Gardner-Johnson after friction behind the scenes with him complaining about his role, wanting to blitz more per league sources, and even communicating that he wanted to be traded. It didn't work out for him here. MJ Stewart, next man up expected. So, a team can't trade for a player that they traded away for 2 years. That's wrong. That is the wrong statement. Since he is a free agent now, he can come back to the Eagles immediately. Immediately. Please bring him back for the sake of my sanity. Billy JS says CJ and Makuba better than City Brown. CJ and Makuba is better than City Brown. Yeah, I agree. I think Makuba just needs more reps. Honestly, just needs more reps. Yeah, Lord, put in the new put that the links just refresh the link. Don't do the link in the description because it doesn't work. I always update it and it's always invalid. So if you want to post it, Lord, post the Discord link. Join the Discord if you guys have it, guys. We talk about everything in the Discord, get everybody involved. So if you want some Eagles on Eagles talk between the fans, join the Discord. Put the link there, Lord, if you can. Hit the sign Chauncey, move Makuba to slot corner, DeJean outside. Not going to happen, bro. Not going to. It's too much. It's way too much movement. There's way too much movement. It's to a point now this week. Apparently, there's rumors. I have to look at the news again. Apparently, Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett are hurt right now. They can't play this week. So, here. Andrew said we should have extended Jordan Davis for cheaper last offseason. Now it's going to be more. Well, they picked up his 5th-year option. I don't know how much was it, like 15, 16 million for 20. What is it, 15, 16 million for 26? I forgot what the number is for him. Blankenship has been mid. I don't think Blankenship's been mid at all, to be honest with you. Why has he been mid? I don't think he's been mid. I think he stopped a touchdown in the end zone. I mean, he got a push off last week. He had one good deflection in the end zone last week on some good coverage versus the Rams, and he gave up a touchdown last week, but he got a push off, man. I don't think it's a good idea. It looks like Howie knew. You might be right. You might be right. This could be like stay the fuck away. Stay the fuck away from it. You might have to stay away from it. So, I mean, this is already tells you that he's already been to a few teams already, and like the Eagles have dealt with it the longest. But we don't even know. Like, see, like I haven't seen news like the news, like the tweet above that you're reading right now. Like, I did not see any of this type of like none of these. There's no behind the scenes news when it comes to the Eagles, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. We have seen no news of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like, oh, the Eagles couldn't deal with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's personality, and he was just messing up the locker room. And but like, we never heard any news on that. Like, no news, period, on any of that. That Devontae Adams touchdown was a push off there. Yeah, it was a push off. 100%. It was. Gar gave up a lot of touchdowns last year at our secondary. It's not even like he gave up a lot of touchdowns, bro, but like you like I understand like maybe his his defensive red zone coverage, maybe his coverage in the end zone wasn't that great, and I get that. But he just brings something so different to this team as an open field tackler, as a blitzer, and just being disruptive behind the line, making tackles, hard hit tackles. Like he's very good at that. And that's a lot than what we have right now. You know what I mean? So you take some, you lose some with his skill set, and I get that. Gray says, "Bro is the next Antonio Brown. I'm over him, and why sit the rookie now?" I don't know. I don't want to sit the rookie. I don't want to sit him at all. I'm saying if there's room for him, that there's a way that they could get him back on this roster, and maybe they could give him some type of role, when they need him. I mean, I think if they want to use, like, they can still use Makuba and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson if they really want to. They could use both of them. Whether they're using 3 safety sets or whether they play dime or basic package, they could use both of them if needed be. But I don't, Sidney Brown, it's just not sitting with me too much with him. So I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of Eagle fans want him back, and I think part of us I think if we knew the truth of why he left, maybe it would make more sense. John said it would be funny if Kenyon Green resigns with Houston. We resign CJ. Don't think it'll happen, but you never know. Yeah, maybe. You never know. But I mean, Kenyon Green, as of right now, has been on and off the fucking roster. He's been on and off the roster constantly. He'll probably be off the roster. He just got waived. Didn't he just get released again? The Eagles just signed Xavier Gibson from the Jets, a returner, because they don't like Tank on kick return, muffing the fucking kick return, 4 or 5 fucking times. John Mechie muffed it like twice. So if he was acting like Antonio Brown, I'm pretty sure we would have heard something about that. If it was that bad, like, that's what I'm saying. We never heard anything. We've heard nothing about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at all of why he left. Why was he fucking traded? Why was he traded? Howie hasn't said a damn word about it. It won't be told because CJ Story kept in the house, and I get that. Just like the Jalen Carter shit is kept in house. They're not going too far with it. How they reprimanded him after what happened against the Cowboys. The real beef was probably between Slay and CJ. Yeah, maybe. But Slay wasn't going to be here this year. So if Slay was still here, maybe I could see that. But Slay wasn't here. If they weren't going to re-sign him, then why would that cause a release? Brooks with a super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, would you sign him back? For me, I would. Until I know more information on what's going on, I probably would. And that's maybe more of an emotional part of myself, but he's still a good player for this team. He's got a great attitude. When it comes to his personality, he has a great attitude toward, he's just a how could I say this? He's just pure fucking energy. He's just pure fucking energy, and he just brings another type of swagger to this defense that I completely miss. There's no doubt, you know? And that's what I miss. Philly 55 says CJ is much to deal with. Let the young bulls get reps. Robert says Howie or Vegas not going to put it out there, but it had to be a reason, and it was with Washington game, and then shit popped off in the locker room on X. He called out Slay. Yeah, I didn't like that either. So it's like it's a catch-22. It's like, but was he affecting the locker room? Was he affecting the locker room? Like, if he was a locker room cancer and he was affecting the locker room, then I can understand. If that's the case, then yeah, he probably shouldn't come back. So I don't know the exact reason. The Eagles could sign him back right now. They could sign him back immediately. Recklessly Rad, I agree, but he had the same issues as Carter. He was a crash out, but Jackson would do well if he had a vet to learn from. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of done with Adoree Jackson, buddy. I mean, as much as Vic is kind of favoring him to start at CB2, like he's not the answer. He's not the future answer. He's not good. I would have to say in the second game, I thought he played pretty. I thought he played pretty good. Like he didn't play perfect. He didn't play great. He didn't play bad. He was serviceable in that second game. And then this past game, he got burnt a few times. Thank God Stafford overthrew some receivers in this game, but he was serviceable again. Like he's just serviceable. Like that's what it comes down to. Texans cutting him right now is a red flag. It might be. It might be. So this is going to be the big news all week if he's going to return. Imagine if he gets a second shot at a second shot at facing the Buccaneers again. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I'm reading some of the reports, and it's pretty much the same thing. Like, Chris says, "Oh, hold on, I'm clicking literally the wrong thing." Chris says, "I don't like going into Tampa undermanned again." Yeah, I don't either. I don't either, bro. Like they got our fucking number right now, and the Eagles need some payback from the last few years. The Eagles need some payback in Tampa Bay. And it looks like the Eagles are going to Tampa Bay on Friday. They're actually flying to Tampa Bay on Friday, and they're going to be practicing in Saturday in the heat. Apparently, it's going to be in the low 90s on Sunday, and it's going to be like 70% humidity. So it's not going to be a fun day weather-wise, from what it sounds like. What it sounds like. Chauncey can play slot, move Coop. Yeah, we're not moving Coop. Like anybody that's saying moving Coop, it's not going to happen, bro. Vic has made it clear he is never moving Coop to the outside. Now, in game, has he done it the last few weeks? Yes, he has. He has. The end of the Cowboys game, he did. He will do it. When he has to make an adjustment, God forbid, on just like if it's a last drive and anything like that. He will make the adjustment in game if he has to, but as a starter on the outside, it is never going to happen. Everybody has got to quit talking about Cooper DeJean playing on the outside. By the way, hold on. Why is it always 100 fucking degrees when we go down there? I don't know. Watch Baker throw at Cooper this week. Use dime package and have DeJean and CJ at slot corners. Yeah, they could do that. They could do that. I mean, they can't play dime the entire time though. That's the thing. Like if he comes, if he signs back with the Eagles, where are they going to put him? Where are they going to put him? I don't know. But speaking about the Tampa Bay Eagles matchup Sunday, I think this is very interesting. This stream is sponsored by Profit X, and I think we should definitely check this out. Looking for the ultimate way to test your sports knowledge? Profit X puts you in the action with peer-to-peer sports prediction market. Play against your friends and fellow fans, not the house. With the best lines in the space and available in over 40 states, Profit X makes predicting games more exciting than ever. Don't just watch the game, dominate with Profit X. Now we're going to go over the Eagles versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another big NFC matchup this Sunday, 1 o'clock, and we're going to be going to the total points, 43.5. Do I take the over or under? And honestly, I think both of these teams will score more than 21, 22 points in this game. I think I'm going to take the over on this. It's going to be a high-scoring game. The Eagles' offense is going to be back, and the Buccaneers are going to play it tough, so that's what the decision I've made on it for this number one sports book. Use promo code SHAKE72. You can get up to $200 cash back over your first 30 days. Every play you make, ProfitX gives you money back for playing on their platform. Up to $200. I repeat, use SHAKE72 for the number one ultimate sports book. Thank you, ProfitX, for sponsoring this live stream. Daryl says 86 is not hot as fuck if you live here. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're used to living down there like that, I mean, trust me, I wouldn't be able to. I can't deal with 90-degree heat. I can't, I would say 80 I could deal with, but in the 90s I'm kind of at a point there, you know. Weather is different from the rest of the world, 100%. 100%. So I don't know. We're going to figure this out. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure. I mean, this just happened. Okay. Fuck, man, this computer. All right, I'm good now. The thing I'm using is not working well. All right, though. I always says lots of questions. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen here. I really don't. I mean, this is a shocking release, but is it really shocking? I was kind of shocked it happened like just now. You know, I mean, the Texans are 0-3, and it seems like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is having a field day over in Houston. And he wanted to change the defense. And then, things weren't working out, so he pretty much was like, I want to trade. I mean, he already like asked for a trade, which is kind of crazy. So, you know what I mean? I thought CJ was good against the run last year. Yeah. Especially they use him even using him in blitz. One thing I'll say is this, like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, like when that man is like looking to make a play in the backfield, that guy does it. He does it. Let's see. I know his Texas Roadhouse prime rib is on sitting. You want to taste it, but does it smell good? Yeah, it's like we're not getting it. We're getting the simmer of the steak. We're not getting the steak. You know what I mean? Blaze says CJ made some big crucial hits on running backs when we needed it, and that's true. He did. Against open field and against the run, he's great. I don't know. So, like I said, like he didn't look good. He didn't look good in that game last against Bucks this past Sunday. He didn't look. He may had a couple missed open field tackles, and maybe he felt like the defense just needed more aggressiveness, and the Texans were not doing that, unfortunately. You know, Rocky with the super chat says we can't sign him since he didn't play. I don't think that's true. He's a free. I think. Well, From what I understand right now is that since he's a free agent, he could sign with the Eagles now. If he was still on the roster and he had, I think that's only if he was still on the Texans roster and he was on the trade block going to get traded, he would have to play one more game for that trade to actually go down back to the team that traded him. The same team that traded him to the Texans, he would have had to play one more game. I think that's how um I'm kind of taking it right now, unless I'm wrong from what it says. So got to play 4 games games to go back to who traded you. I didn't know if that was still Bleeding Green posted, but I just read something different than that. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. But if he's a free agent, then what does it matter if he's a free agent? He's not with the team anymore, so the 4 games should be voided now. I mean, it should be voided. Man only made it to week 3, made it 3 weeks on a new team. Maybe he's a problem. You might be right. You might be right. I'm not shutting it down that he isn't a problem. I mean, he plays with the Eagles. He goes to the Lions, trouble in waters when he comes back in 24, wins a Super Bowl, and then gets traded again in the offseason program. And obviously we were really shocked over it, and we just never knew why. And the Eagles are very private when it comes to these situations, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We got 487 to chat. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We cover the Eagles every single day. We stream the games every week. We have a podcast twice a week. So if you haven't found the Discord, definitely join the Discord if you have it either. And definitely hit the like button. I appreciate it. We better sign him before Detroit does. I don't think they will. Yeah, I don't think they will. God says, yeah, Eagles could sign him. He's a free agent. That rule only applies if they are on the roster of the team you trade him to. Yes. Yes. He's not on the roster anymore. He's officially released. He's officially a free agent. He's ready to sign with any team, including the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's where we're at with this situation. So where the hell? Oh, there it is. I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was really confused for a second. Bark said they won't sign him. Something happened after the Super Bowl that made his future here very unlikely. Yeah, we don't know. I want to fucking know what happened, because if I find out like really bad news on what happened, then it will probably help me tremendously on the decision, because I really don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so even Anthony the bonus says I said in the reply to another tweet, but I don't see the Eagles re-sign Chauncey. It says it was clear that they wanted to move in a different direction at safety in the offseason. Despite how much fans like the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, it's clear that teams seem to think differently. And that's probably true. I mean, 3 fucking weeks, bro. 3 weeks. He lasted on a fucking team for 3 fucking weeks. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, this can't be the only altercation he had this past week. Like, he must have been a fucking headache since the beginning. I mean, I'm not even sure if that's the case, but how do you, even if Chauncey went in the office and said, "Hey," unless this was like he went to the office, he complained about the team, he complained about how his role was with the defense, or they weren't aggressive enough, they weren't blitzing enough, they need to be, and then it got into a huge fucking feud, and then that was it. So he was affecting the locker room. That's not good. And obviously, a lot of players over there aren't used to having that type of personality. So, but the Eagles, they can manage him. They can manage a lot of personalities or some bad off the field type players. The Eagles have done this for years. You know what I mean? Yeah, Brantley Gowton says best fit for Chauncey returning to the Eagles would be him in the slot and Cooper DeJean on the outside. But I don't think the Eagles are re-signing Chauncey. They were ready to cut him before trade with Texans materialized. And Vic Fangio wants to keep DeJean at nickel. They were ready to cut him before trade with Texans. So if that was the case, okay, and I don't know if this is even true. I mean, Brantley Gowton said this. Okay. Brantley Gowton said this, that Chauncey was going to get cut regardless. So the Eagles couldn't find a trade partner. They were going to flat out fucking cut him. Which, that's kind of crazy. If that's even true. Like I said, I don't know if that's true. The Rocky with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. He says CJ was saying on the pivot that he got into it with Q in the locker room last year because he wouldn't pick up his weights off the ground. Was it Q? Was it? Yeah, somebody said it was Josh Jobe, but he wasn't here last year. Yeah, but Chauncey said he was joking about that. Like he was being sarcastic and he was joking or something. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, was it an actual, like, heated argument over, like, the weights? And, like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know the context of it. Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, somebody said he was talking about 23. I don't know if that was. I have to go back and watch it because I don't know if that was on Quinion. I don't know. Yeah, I thought he was talking about Josh Jobe or he was talking about something from a few years ago. I don't think it was last year. But still, like, Rage says if the context was 2023, then who gives a shit? Like, who cares? Like, now Johnson hits the open market. So I don't think nobody really won this trade. I don't think the Eagles won this trade. I don't think the Texans won this trade. Nobody won this trade yet. You know? But appreciate it, Sean. Appreciate it, buddy. I will take a Super Bowl, for example. Chauncey was the furthest back and the touchdown was caught in front of him. He was looking back for no reason. He could have broke up the pass. I get it. Had some issues. But I think he's better than what we have. Unfortunately, I think he's better right now. I think Bakuba is going to be really good, and I think he just needs to play more games. But as to, like, past Sidney Brown's getting playing time. I don't think he's that great. You know who said we don't want CJ going to Washington or Dallas? Yeah, well, if he does, he does. It's gonna fucking suck. I don't think Washington needs a safety. Cowboys potentially, maybe, but Dave says, Joey, I wouldn't just my 2 pennies. Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. I'm very mixed on it because we don't know the actual news of what's been going on. I don't know the actual news. I wish I knew more news on it, but I don't. You know, that's where I'm kind of at. Alex is too slow to play cornerback too, and his tackling is more missed than hit. Plus, he's proven head case. We'll be fine without him. Oh, did it? Oh, maybe you're right. I did. I thought I saw some about the safety for Washington. Maybe, but that's gonna fucking suck. You know. But we'll see. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if he goes to Washington. It wouldn't shock me at all. But we're gonna find out if how long is him signing somewhere else gonna take. I mean, someone's gonna sign him. I mean, there's injuries around the league. Someone loses a safety, he's out there. Someone's gonna pick him up. Somebody's gonna pick him up. Even knowing what happened, someone's gonna pick him up. He ain't gonna be jobless. Ron says I can hear Nick saying it now. We are happy with the guys we have in house. Yeah, the question will be asked. Ron says he going into the Packs. They trying to get everyone they can. Rob says, yeah, it was Will Harris got broken fibula. Oh, okay. The moment I knew last season the Birds was special because the Ravens 14-0 down. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was on the sideline giving a fiery speech to a huddled defense for a while. Defense never gave up a point after. No, there's a lot of positives with Chauncey as as a teammate and in game and what he could do and how he rallies a defense together and Big Bat Charlie said bring him back, man. He may be a little cocky, but he was the best safety of Philly. Yeah. I mean, he was good. I mean, he was very good. No, I think Patullo and Fangio had their press conferences today, so probably in the next couple of days we'll hear something. He goes to Washington, I'll write him off Philly forever, just like Miles Sanders. Jason Pierce went to Dallas, but he didn't say anything bad about Philly. Miles is trash. Oh, Deshaun Jackson went to Washington too. we paid the price for that shit. I'll tell you that much. We paid the price for that. Pickup says he's going to Pittsburgh or Dallas. Kevin says guy has to learn to shut the fuck up, play good football lately. He can't do either. He's not used to being on a bad team. That's the problem. You're 0-3 and he's starting to get, he's put a lot of pride in himself. Like I just came from a Super Bowl roster, won a Super Bowl. I got traded to the Texans and he was giving his 2 cents on how his role was supposed to be used. And they weren't using him the right way, apparently. And he probably got more aggressive and they decided to just cut him at this point. I mean, they flat out just fucking cut him. You know what I mean? Chauncey was in the playoffs for the Lions. He was in a Super Bowl for the Eagles in 22. He was in the playoffs with the Lions in 23. And then, in 24, he went back to the Eagles and won a Super Bowl. He's been on successful rosters. This is really beyond like what he was with the Saints in the last few years. This is like he hasn't really been on a bad team the last few years, So I think that's a big thing. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the safeties look like in Pittsburgh, but yeah, I mean, he won't be expensive. Probably not. I mean, he probably won't be expensive. I mean, the Eagles are saving cap space. They're saving. I think that they're not saving much this year. Next year, I think in 26 they're saving $6 million, and then in 27 they're saving $13.8 million. So that's what they're saving for Chauncey the next few years, next couple years. Not much this year, but the year after, next offseason they'll save. This offseason they'll save 6. The next, and then the year after in 27 they'll save like 13.8. They'll save a nice chunk of cap space, and obviously they have some contracts in the next few years they have to figure out. So Jalen Carter's going to get his contract. Nolan Smith is a big question mark for me. Nakobe Dean, I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen with him when he comes back. But he ain't getting no big deal. Reed Blankenship's probably going to get paid. Jordan Davis is here for another year after this year, so he plays on his 5th-year option in 26. And if Jordan Davis continues what he's doing this year, I think, Nolan Smith, if Nolan Smith regresses and doesn't show up this year, and Jordan Davis is really showing up, and Jordan Davis isn't going to get 30 plus, 40 plus $1 million, but I think potentially, I think Jordan Davis gets an extension. I think Carter and Davis might have some extensions Probably their way. I mean, I know Carter will, but Ricks isn't on the team anymore. I don't think Ricks is even on the practice squad anymore. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's here anymore. So Chauncey is a misfit that fits only to the Eagles well. And you might be right. This Pierce, I would like to see it back, but I don't think he fits our roster. We need a cornerback too. I think he fits our roster. Sorry, I was checking my. You know what I mean? I think about if they paid Za'Darius that much, why the hell they keep Gardner? He was going to get paid $9 million until we got rid of him. Well, it's a different situation. It's a totally different situation. It wasn't about the fucking money. 100%. This had nothing to do about money at all. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's release had to do with more than just money. I mean, 27, 28 years old, in his prime. Why wouldn't you have a safety? Why wouldn't you keep a safety like that? Not even on a bad payday, you know? Yeah, JC's going to get a lot of money. Raw Rap Raiders to bring CJ back for cheap makes sense to me. Yeah, could be right. Could be right. But if they released him for a reason, and now they're having issues at safety a little bit, cornerback too, you know, you could use his services. You could get him back. So, but there's a reason why he was traded. If it's not about cap, which I don't believe it's about cap, them saying it's about cap is just to not talk about anything else. To use the cap as an excuse to not talk about the situation, that's where I'm kind of at with the whole thing. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. And it don't look good. Does not look good. Yes, it would be a way cheaper option if we keep our pick instead of going to get Denzel Ward by just putting Coop going on the outside. Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously the Browns just won against the Packers, so hopefully the next few weeks they'll lose a few more games, and then once the Browns realize they're out of playoff contention and they need some draft capital and they can get rid of some assets, then maybe they make a trade for Denzel Ward or Newsome or something like that. Because this CB2 spot is not it's we're just getting by with this spot. Like, if that pass rush gets better, and I don't want the pass rush to mask the biggest weakness on our defense. And you know what I mean, from keeping it from getting exposed too much. Because let me tell you something. I want Ja'Cory Bennett to start for a full game. I really want that to happen. They haven't done it yet, and Fangio just still doesn't want to do that yet. And Adoree Jackson, unfortunately, when it comes to yak yards, open field tackling, I mean, I remember seeing in that Rams game someone catching something on the side, somebody catching a ball on the sideline. He was about 5 or 6 yards from the first down marker. And Adoree Jackson just cannot tackle anybody. I mean, he was literally getting carried for 5, 6 yards over the first down marker. Guy can't do shit in open space. Guy can't take guys down in open space. And that's been a big fucking problem, too. No, I don't want Justin. No, Justin Simmons is never coming to Philadelphia. That is never happening. Never, ever, ever happening. That was like a month ago, I would say maybe, and he was worried about Makuba and his injuries and things like that. So the Justin Simmons thing is done with. He ain't never coming back. He ain't never coming to Philadelphia. Terrible take. It was about money. Reed Blankenship is a bad lead of the secondary. Everyone looks worse with Reed calling the shots. I don't think that's true at all, but that's your opinion, though. If it was strictly a cap situation, I'm completely wrong about it, which I don't think I am. But if I'm completely wrong that it was just about the cap, I don't know why you would get rid of Chauncey because of cap. I mean, $9 million. I mean, fucking Christ. I mean, it's not that much. So I don't get that. Oh, Houston. Okay. Well, I have no idea about their situation. If it's Dorian, I can't remember who else. Who else is hurt? Could Mac McWilliams play? I don't know if he can. He's not. He's another guy that's not consistent. Didn't have a great camp. I mean, he's what? He's a 5th-round pick, fucking corner. I mean, what do you expect out of him as a starter? You know, sometimes you find guys that are gems. You know, you find a diamond in the haystack with certain guys. I don't know if he's going to be one of those guys that can play on the inside consistently, and I don't know. I'm not moving. I'm not. Cooper DeJean ain't moving. Cooper DeJean's not moving to the outside. Not happening. He was smoking a blunt in front of ownership. Yeah, and then I heard rumors that he did something at the parade that they didn't like. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing that's like, there's no video on anything. There's no official reports on anything about Chauncey and why he left. There's really nothing there on the situation. It gives me a headache. It's just, I don't even know, dude. I don't know. Rachel says it's not just a cap situation. It's not just cap issue when he's on 5 different teams in 5 years. It's clearly character, and I agree. To handle a personality like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, it's a lot to take in for a team. It's a lot to take in, and the Eagles can handle it, but I don't know. Rachel says they said it was a cap issue, so they didn't have to air out. Yeah, exactly. It was the excuse was, let's just talk about it, making it a cap issue. We don't got to talk about anything any more than that. 614 boys. I wish you could have kept Isaiah Rodgers. I know. I know. They fucking didn't work out. Yo, what's going on, buddy? It's Philly the podcast. What's going on, buddy? I kind of feel bad for CJ at this point. You know, like, I just don't have enough information. I'm so torn in the middle because I just don't have enough information on, like, you know, I already know it's not a cap. I already know it's not a cap thing. I just don't get, like, what happened that was so bad that the Eagles were just like, we got to get rid. We have to cut him now. We got to cut him. Apparently, they were going to cut him regardless, even before the trade with Houston materialized. And that's what Brandley Gowton said today. I mean, if they were going to already cut him, then it must have been really fucking bad then. I mean, really fucking bad. You know? Here. All right, so these incidents sound purposely done to get himself cut. And he said, let's go get CJ. Let's go. CJ got cut because of attitude. It's not about his money. Billy Duncan says they need to bring him back ASAP. Should have never traded him. It's just destined for him to be an Eagle. But he said, let's go. Teams can't handle his attitude. It was probably the Swifty thing. What, the shirt? The Swifty can lick my ball. What the fuck was this shirt? Maybe. 614 boys to Joe. You so dope, brother. I appreciate it. If there's any more news. I'm on this right now. Titans are trading Jarvis Brownlee to the Jets. Okay. There's nothing else. I think it's gone quiet now. Definitely about money. The offense is expensive while the defense is cheap, and the defense will be expensive when it's time to rebuild the offense. That's true. Chauncey is a fine, toxic chick. It was just, oh, Swifties can lick my balls. Yeah, that was the shirt. Yeah, that shit was great. If that was the case, if that was like I don't even know if that was like the main issue. Like I said, like we have no fucking information on why he was cut. Like now everything is going to surface now because of him being a free agent and him getting cut from the Texans. Now, like I want these beat writers to be like I hate when these beat writers are complete assholes, but like this week, I want them to be complete assholes on this situation and literally pressure ownership on or the front office on why the fuck this happened. You know. Chauncey said, "What's up with some guys? Sometimes you just got to shut up and collect the $8 million annual paycheck." Like I say, like as a player that makes a lot of money, like you go up to the coaching staff, say, "Hey, I think we should do this." Like the Eagles always welcome the dialogue between players that come in the office and say, "Hey, I think we got to do this." I think like last year, the Eagles, during the bye week last year, the Eagles were 2-2. It was the bye week. They, a couple of the offensive linemen went to the office like, "Hey, we need to run the ball more with Saquon," and that's what they did. But Chauncey, like, you can't go to every team and like you can't go like I don't know how it went. And obviously the meeting probably went really fucking bad. It probably went really bad. So MD says, let's go. It says Vic Vic dislike Chauncey? We don't know. We have no idea. We brought Fred back. Why not CJ? Well, Fred's not even close to what Chauncey is attitude-wise. And number two, Fred was cheap. And number three, without Fred being signed, the Eagles wouldn't have won this fucking game. You see the tape on Fred Johnson against fucking Fred Johnson locked that right tackle spot down. That man needs a fucking 1-year extension. That he needs to stay here for another year. That guy can play left tackle, right tackle. Without Fred Johnson, we would have lost that fucking game. Would have lost. He was a fucking animal. Now he athletically, like he can go out and block, but him going upfield, like he is a slow motherfucker. I think we could all agree he is slow. We all agree with that. Hey, moron, what are the last two? Hey, moron, what do the last two Eagles Super Bowls in safety position have in common? Well, they had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in both those games. Yeah. I never felt so hey, it is what it is. And he's right, you know? And he says, Johnson saved us. I don't know why he didn't sub in once Lane went out. I don't know either. I honestly don't. I think part of it was because Matt Pryor's played the right side all of camp. That was the reason. And Fred Johnson had no reps at right tackle at all. No reps. So they made the change. So, and it worked out. Thank fucking God it did. Why did they let Fred Johnson go off season? He balled every time he played. Well, I mean, he got a little nice contract from the Jags. I don't know why they did, honestly. He took over for a few games from Mulata last year. He played okay. He played decent. I think he played way better in this game on right tackle than he did at left tackle last year. We took over for Mulata for a couple games. Like he was serviceable. He was fine. Gave up some pressures, but he was fine. Makuba in Portuguese means black magic, does it? William Bird says, who do you think the biggest threat to the Eagles are in the NFC? Lions? I think it will be the Lions. I think the Rams are legit still a threat because they're still a very good team too. Tampa Bay, we'll see what they do. So there's going to be no Mike Evans next week. Mike Evans not going to be around. They still got that rookie receiver that's actually really good. And they still have Chris Godwin. But Mike Evans will not be in playing next week. He's out 2 to 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. He's had a hamstring injury, I think, every year of his fucking career. I think the last 6 years, he's had, like, a hamstring every fucking year. It's crazy because he still hits over 1,000 yards every year. Why was Sidney Brown playing more than Makuba last game? I honestly don't know. It could just been playing base to dime defense. I don't know. But I've kind of questioned why Makuba as a second round pick is not getting more reps on. I don't know. That I'm not sure of. Joseph, what are the tools of playing signed by the same that trade a player? Can Eagles? Yes, the Eagles could sign him back. If he was still on Houston's roster, he would have had to play one more game. I think a fourth game. Since he was flat out fucking released. See, just like the Hassan Reddick situation. Remember, we were like, he was having these issues. Hassan Reddick was having these issues with the Jets. We're like, let's just trade. Let's just go get him back. And they couldn't do that. So it's either he had to play a fourth game, or it's either because he has to be on a team for like 2 years before they could trade back for the same player that they traded to that team. Adoree Jackson, Ja'Cory Bennett could miss. Yeah, there's apparently, so it looks like Adoree, there's news going around that Adoree and Ja'Cory Bennett might miss week 4. And that fucking sucks. At least if Adoree Jackson was hurt, I would have been like, nice, Ja'Cory Bennett can have a whole entire game. Show that he could be the starting corner this year. But now he's out. So, I don't know what's going to happen. No freaking idea. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't friggin' tell you. So, I know Vic Fangio said some things about Keely Ringo today. Apparently, Vic said in the summary of that he kind of figured that Ringo was going to get some type of opportunity this year. You know? J13, we can't sign Stoney since he didn't play 4 games. I think that's it doesn't matter. I don't think that matters. He's a free agent now. So I think that's only for trade rules. I think that's only for trade rules. From what I'm reading, I think that's only for trade rules. So I'm ready for some Keely Ringo this week. Yeah. Can't wait. He's going to play terrible. He's going to play so fucking bad. The guy hasn't played corner in weeks. He hasn't played corner in fucking weeks. He's been a special teamer the last few weeks. Like this is going to get really fucking ugly. It's going to be really ugly. I'm just saying. I hope that Ringo just all of a sudden just like plays good for at least a game, but this is not good. Remember, if I'm Howie, I would go all in on Denzel Ward. He is getting wasted in Cleveland. Yeah, a lot of players are. And if they got 10 picks. I think they have 10 picks left. 10 picks. SE Birds fan, what's going on, buddy? He says Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's a free agent. He's free to sign anywhere he wants. The rule, as everyone is quoting, is for trades and players subject to waivers. Yes. Yes. I have never played Silk Song. I didn't. I've seen a lot of gameplay on it. I've seen a lot of gameplay. It looks pretty cool. Let's see. I just don't think we're a Super Bowl team. I'm going to be honest. It's just too much of a weakness. It's early, dude. It's really early. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, you never know what could happen later on. Like, the trade deadline by week 9 is going to be huge for the Eagles. I think they're going to sell, and I think there'll be some. I think they will partially be buyers at the trade deadline. As for the past few years, they really haven't been big buyers because a lot of teams try to fleece other teams last second. You know? He said the Rams players and coaches were so happy at halftime. Oh man, they were cocky, conceited motherfuckers at halftime. They really were. Sub Shogun says they're going to keep throwing to the right side. Some of our guys are going to try to help Ringo or whoever's on that side out, and they're going to start passing. Sorry, it's not me not reading this. It's me. The chat is being weird for this. The right side out, and they're going to start passing in the middle. It's easy. Yeah, I mean that's when you need to give safety help all the time. It fucking takes out another player from your defense to help somebody else out, and it results in big plays happening. Unfortunately. You're pretty much one position away. At this point, it's like, do I think like having Sidney Brown and Makuba is a big weakness at safety? No, but I think Sidney Brown is serviceable, but I don't think he's a game changer. No, but Makuba just needs to keep playing. I think we're fine. CB2 spot is where we're kind of at. You saw the Bucks sign that 450-pound DT. Are they preparing? They signed the dude that couldn't cut weight. They signed that dude that couldn't cut the weight. That big ass DT that literally he couldn't cut. I think they want him to drop to like 400 pounds. Did they sign that guy? We also need a good edge rusher. I don't know what's going on with Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt. I know it's between people are telling me, well, Nolan Smith is still healing from the triceps injury. I'm like, if he's not fully 100% from the triceps injury, then like, should he not be playing then? Like, I don't get that whole torn tricep injury. I mean, Nolan Smith, nowhere to be found. Jalen Hunt is pretty much on a fucking milk carton at this point. Pretty much on a milk carton at this point. I mean, I got to see something like really like Nolan Smith is on a contract year. I mean, you know what I mean? Nolan Smith ain't gonna get fucking paid. Not this time around. I'd rather sign if Jordan Davis continues what he's doing. I wouldn't even re-sign fucking Nolan Smith. I'd make defensive end a big fucking defensive end, tight end, and depending what they do at cornerback, if they sign a corner that has a couple years left on their contract, or if they sign someone that has a couple years, just say they signed a corner that has a couple years on their contract left. I would make. I think edge rusher. I think edge rusher and fucking DT. Sorry, edge rusher and tight end might be your biggest needs next year. Might be your biggest needs next year. Did we even get 2 sacks a game? I don't think so. No. They haven't yet. I think Jalen Carter really hasn't got his feet under him either, because apparently there's this, he's out of shape. I don't know. He's gotten some good pressure though, but him being on the field has helped tremendously since he was out for that Dallas game. We were in worse shape this time last year. You're probably right. You're technically right. I think the play calling was better early last year than it was this year. Well, I'm talking the first half of that fucking game. It was horrible. I mean, that was the worst I've ever seen it. Diva says our Joey RD is so good we can overcome a bad cornerback. And it just depends. It depends if the Eagles can realistically get over this and feel like if Fangio feels they don't have to make a move there. I don't know. This is a big fucking game this week. I mean, if you can come out of this series like 3-1, you're pretty good. Because going after the Dallas game, this short little gauntlet that we had against KC. I didn't know how we were going to look against KC. But they did a good job there. And obviously the Rams game was a big one. Now you got to get through Tampa Bay. I mean, you already got to win within the division, and that Rams win is great for tiebreakers, playoff implications. I mean, it's a great game. That KC game was nothing more than just bragging rights. It doesn't affect us going down the road for that KC game. It's an AFC team. It means nothing for us later down the road. But it helps out the AFC, which is good, so that's a good thing. But We never. So you think Jalen calls the plays in the second half, or just had some input? I think he had input. Yeah, there's no quarterback that play calls an entire second half. Now I don't know why Patullo was so fucking conservative in that. He's been conservative the last 3 fucking games, besides that second half to the Rams game, because it completely changed. Obviously they had some really, like the 4th and 6 on the 50 was fucking stupid. Like that was dumb. They kicked that field goal the whole game. The whole game changes there. I mean, they missed that. We blocked the field goal. I mean, you gave them fucking points. Going for it on 4th and 6 at your own 50 was like the dumbest fucking thing they did in that game. And the Eagles got out of it. But you have a coordinator right now that's brand new, learning everything. But I mean, you've been around this team the last few years. You've seen like how you should use AJ Brown. Throw it up to him when he's covered, he's open. Devontae Smith, use him on intermediate shit, which they started doing, which was great. They mixed in the run game. They were doing read option. They added some play action under center. Like they actually started to look like last year a little bit. You took some shots downfield. You know what I mean? Matthew Stafford, how many guys did he miss wide open? You know what I mean? The holding call. The Rams got to our 5-yard line. Holding call on the touchdown run. Got lucky on that one. And then he overthrew a receiver in the end zone. They kicked the field goal. We resulted in 3 points right there. We got very lucky in that fucking game. But you got to say this. It's not like we played a bad team. You played a very fucking good football team. You played a fucking great football team. That is a good team. Okay, to have a game like that ending the way it did, it's not like you did that against the Cowboys. Like you're talking like the Giants and Cowboys over 160, close to 200 yards and fucking penalties, and a fucking team, a loser's bowl between the Giants and the Cowboys last week. Okay, that went into fucking overtime. I mean, if we went into a back and forth like that with the Cowboys, I'd be fucking worried. But with the Rams, I feel a lot better, and they could really build on that second half. They really could build on it. So we'll see. If Stafford was good game, we lose. Yeah. And quarterbacks make mistakes. It happens. You can't go off like the what ifs. What if this and what if that? Like what if the Eagles didn't have pressure in the fucking Super Bowl? What if the defense didn't play top tier? I mean, like there's so like I don't go off of what ifs in football games. Things happen for a reason. The better team fucking won. The better team made less mistakes. And the Eagles came back from 19 fucking points, which means that the Eagles will fucking win in any way, shape, or form. That is a tough fucking football team. That showed me that they're still a tough football team, and they're a tough football team that resulted from last year to this year. They still got it. They still fucking got it. That sense of urgency, that willingness to fucking fight, that that survival fucking tactic that they have in game that any other team would have fucking lost besides maybe 2 or 3 other teams that could have stood up with the Rams coming back from 19 points. No other fucking team would have been able to come back from that. There's no other team that would have came back. Bruce says Kevin should know more than he does since he's been here a few years now. For him to have such a predictable first half, disturbing. Yeah, I get it, bro. It was very disturbing. There's no doubt. I mean, it was as basic can fucking be. There really wasn't much to say about that first half. I mean, it was clearly like the most conservative fucking offense I've ever fucking watched. These basic hash to sideline, outside, these hashtag to sideline throws, these safe, never using middle of the field, not run. I mean, look, you're running on fucking first down. You're backed up 3rd and 15, and how many times you back because of these bad fucking these muffed kick returns. You're backed up on your own 5, your own 10, your own 15. and you're basically running a play on third down just to get better field position to fucking punt. You're literally making a run play on third down to fucking punt. That's what you're calling for your defense, your offense. I mean, it was just, yeah, just really fucking bad, bro. Just really bad. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, my official Discord, we get everybody involved, so it's easier to message me if you have any questions about anything. We do weekly live streams. We're kind of rebuilding the whole thing. We almost have like 300 members in the Discord. If you guys haven't checked out the Discord, join the Discord. It's one of my favorite things to do every single week, so definitely go check it out if you guys have not. Check it out. Check it out. Appreciate it so much. You guys haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Cover the Eagles every day. Hit the like button if you guys have it. I appreciate it so much from everybody joining today on some breaking news. I didn't think I was going to be streaming today, which is kind of nuts. But, you know, we're here. We are here. So, before I let you guys go, and I wanted to kind of do this. Jay says, how do you feel about the run defense? Will it improve? I hope it does. The edge rushers were horrible yesterday. They were horrible. They weren't great. They got belted yesterday. And up the middle, they weren't that great either. But they tightened up, though. They tightened up. So it should get better. Oh, shit, what's going on, buddy? So I'm late to the party. What happened? We just got the news that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was released from the Houston Texans. And, yeah. We don't know what's going to happen here. We don't know what's going to happen here. So we will see what happens. But, guys, since everybody is here, this is from me and Philly 500, the Philly Shakedown podcast. I want to kind of put this up. If you guys have it. So, Super Bowl rings have been selling like crazy for $40. And the Super Bowl rings are fantastic. We have pre-orders for Super Bowl rings until October 1st. Okay, and will be shipped out October 13th. These are the Super Bowl rings. They look absolutely awesome. I have one myself right here. I could show you guys. We got some samples. They're absolutely great. They look great. You could shine them up. They look, I mean, obviously they're not diamonds, but this is something that you could buy, and God forbid something happens to it, you're not going to be disappointed because you didn't spend much money on it. And we're not making much from these at all. This is just, we want to do something for everybody. And these are actually my pictures at the bottom here that I took of the ring. And they're very sturdy. They're very heavy. Alloy metal, just they're good. They're good for what they are for the price, and that's all that matters. They're really good. So definitely check these out if you guys have it until October 1st. So the earlier order, you'll get them soon. You get them past October 1st, you won't get them on time. So make sure you pre-order them by October 1st. We have the Philly Joint t-shirt. If everybody as old as I am can remember this. Old school shirt, a Hertz Joint t-shirt. Definitely check that out. And the Philly main thing t-shirt, the iconic pose from Jalen Hurts in the hallway after the Super Bowl. It's another one that sold a lot last year, and a lot more. We have this shirt. I have this shirt. It looks absolutely amazing. The premium limited champion shirt, which is great. Definitely check out our whole entire store. Everything is there. I appreciate everybody checking out. So let me put the links for that in there for you guys, for the Super Bowl rings, all of that, for the site itself, and go pre-order. The shirts you'll get immediately. The ring is the only thing on pre-order right now. So we just did a pre-order for 100 rings. They sold within a couple weeks. We have another 100 rings available. So first come, first serve to order for the rings. And definitely check all that stuff up. Here is the site. Those are the rings. This is the entire site for everything that you need is all there. If you want to support the Philly Shakedown podcast, Philly 500 and myself, it's all right there. So I appreciate it. Appreciate so much of everybody checking it out. But yeah, we're gonna go in a couple minutes here, but definitely check out the Discord if you guys have it, and join up on that. We do weekly live streams to all the subscribers and the supporters, and we have a lot of fun. It's a great thing. Eagle fans talk with Eagle fans. Like, if you want a place for that, the Discord is there. The link is there for the Discord. So definitely check it out, peoples, and share it with your friends too. What the hell happened? Why did CJ get released? I just ordered a ring yesterday. Hey, I appreciate Webfoot so much, buddy. Appreciate it, Blaze, so much, buddy. Yeah, so the news that you're seeing up top is apparently he didn't like his role in the defense with Houston, and they thought they should blitz more. And I guess the meeting didn't go well, and he got flat out released. Flat out released. So, kind of shitty, but we don't know all the details, and this is 5 teams. Chauncey has been literally with 5 teams so far, and there's reasons for this, but, you know, there is reasons for that. But that's it. I mean, we don't really know. I'm going to check one more time for any other information on what's going on. See. Let's see here. I don't care about the Phillies. Yeah, there's no other news. Okay, it says issues with the Texans experience behind the scenes with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Says he was critical of teammates in the secondary. So I mean that's already bad. I mean that's bad. I mean he's already. I mean he's not even here. He's not even with the Texans 3 fucking weeks. Already with the Texans 3 fucking weeks. Okay, and he's like, and I don't know, from a leadership. I don't even know if he has a leadership role over there. You know, since he's a new player over there for the last few weeks. Okay. Critical of teammates in the secondary and didn't like his role. It was a locker room issue. And ultimately, this wasn't a good fit for the team. It was a locker room issue, and ultimately, this just wasn't a good fit for the team and for a talented player. Yeah, bro. Ray said, I ordered mine 9/11. When should it come, or how can I track it? You should have a tracking number, but email me if you have it. They should have been sent out. I think they got sent out today because it's the 23rd. Because if you ordered, I think, you ordered on 9/11, so it was a late order, so you probably should get it probably in another. It should be sent out between now and the next couple days. Because if you ordered on September 1st, I think you would have had it. I think the 23rd. I think it would have been sent out the 23rd. So it should be sent out within the next couple days. So you should be good. Webfoot's okay. He's an attitude problem for sure. Yeah, that's what it seems like. So I don't know what to take from it, guys, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at with this whole thing. But I want to thank everybody for joining. I'm gonna head out. I got some things to do today. I'm gonna head out, and yeah, we're gonna be doing our thing. So I'll have a video out tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. Cover the Eagles every day. Join the Discord if you haven't. And we'll be back with more stuff tomorrow, and we'll have another stream this week most likely. Obviously, anything that's breaking, honestly, anything that's breaking news, I will be there and for it, So, all right, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Kicks what up. Fly will fly. Peace out, guys. You enjoy it. Peace.